Wrote a fast start to a 6-3 win over the Canucks to get their 4-game road trip off on the right foot. We'll explain how they did it, and we'll take a look at some of the crazy line combinations put together by Barry Trotz that helped spur the team to victory. All that and more coming up on this episode of the Locked On Islanders podcast.
Your Locked On Islanders, your daily podcast on the New York Islanders. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Everybody, welcome to the Thursday edition of the Locked On Islanders podcast. So glad you could join us to be part of the Locked On Islanders family. And thank you for making Locked On Islanders your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms. Wow, Islanders with a 6-3 win over the Vancouver Canucks in Vancouver. For those of you who were able to stay up late and watch the game, an exciting game. The Islanders getting off to a fast start. We'll break it down for you, including some of these interesting, and I'll put that in air quotes, interesting line combinations that Barry Trotz put together, and I'll discuss why that actually was a good idea for the Islanders. So we'll have our key takeaways from the game, and there were many of them, plus our Islanders birthday of the day, and a whole lot more, all coming up on this episode of the Locked On Islanders podcast. If you've got something Islanders related on your mind, you have a question, a comment, a topic you'd like us to discuss on the show, feel free to send us an email. The email address is lockedonislanders@gmail.com. And if you leave your first name and where you're from, we're happy to mention you on the show when we talk about whatever it is that's on your mind. You could also follow the show on Twitter at Locked On Isles, and you could follow me, Gil Martin, on Twitter at Ice Wars, NYR, VSNYI. We'll keep you up to date on all the latest Islanders news, notes, and happenings, and I am live tweeting during nearly every Islanders home and road game. I'll give you some instant insight and analysis, and it's always great to interact with fans during the game and really anytime. So hit me up on Twitter if there's something you want to discuss or say or comment on. It's always great to talk to fans. Wow. The Islanders get off to a fast start, jump off to a 5-0 lead, 3 goals in 31 seconds, the second fastest 3 goals in Islanders franchise history. And the Islanders skate away with the 6-3 win. And look, it wasn't all easy going for this team. Parise playing 100 games. And Parise in helped set up in 31 seconds. It was Parise and Brock Nelson, 18 and then 13 seconds after that, Anders Lee. So congratulations to Zach Parise. Lineups, though, here's the thing. We talked extensively after the loss back in last Wednesday, the last game before the All-Star break. That this team needed Good. They need all out to try to get the 2 points into it. Control desperation. And in this game, he came out with that desperation. What did Barry Trotz as the coach? He comes out and shakes the lineup. Now, Barry was not going to be there. He and his wife had a baby, and congratulations to the Palmieri family, and we wish them all the best. So Palmieri was not going to be in the lineup. So here's started the game for the New York Islanders. Matthew Barzal centering Cal Clutterbuck, as that was really as the four in Mayfield combinations, and of course Sorokin in between the pipe. The Islanders. Now, are these lineup combinations that are going to work long term? I doubt it. I mean, I don't foresee Cal Clutterbuck being on the top line long term there today. And picks up assists in this game, getting ice time. Than he normally almost 7. And Clutterbuck swings up. Ross got his job done. Played 13 minutes, 30 seconds, 4 hits. Drops early on in this game. The Islanders take the 1-0 lead. And then Luke Shen challenges Ron to drop the gloves. And he did. And Johnston more than held his own. Probably won the and he did. The I kept all together. That on the Zekas with a great directed. These combinations just worked and gave the team that short jolt that they really needed. Now, Friday, I expect these lines to remain in place. Probably not. If Kyle Palmieri is back, I assume he'll be in the lineup, probably in place of Russ Johnston. But either way, the Islanders, I remember years ago, I remember Arbor picked just by putting names in a hat and pulling them out. Not because he thought that would be, the answer to his team problems. Just to shake things up. And sometimes you got to do that. Trotz did today. Psychologically, it was a smart team. Here's the thing. The key to the Islanders' success, well, we're going to talk about that when we come back with lots more key takeaways from this game still to come. Today's episode is brought to you by your friends at BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. as football continues its march to the playoffs and right up to the big game this weekend. BetOnline.net remains the best spot for all your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. And it's not just football. BetOnline has up-to-the-minute info on pro and college hoops, the NHL, boxing, UFC, along with live, real-time updates of current games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the new amazing offers available for the 2022 season. Check out BetOnline, where the game starts. Thanks again for making Locked On Islanders your first listen every day. Make sure to check out Olympic Hockey Daily, presented by Locked On NHL. It's a bonus podcast covering all the action in Beijing. You can find it on the Locked On NHL podcast feed. It's free and available wherever you get podcasts. So, some more thoughts about this game. And again, Islander fans have to be pleased with the team still 5-0 lead. And with Martin scores an unassisted goal that gets Vancouver on the board and gives them that little spark they need heading into the second period. How many times this season have we seen this Islanders team suffer a letdown in the final minute and a half of a period? And it has this and it didn't end up. They played sloppily in the last minute and a half of the first period. Gave up 2 minutes the second period, although Joe mailed them out of that one. And all of a sudden, 5-0 lead at the end of 40 minutes. It was 5-3. And New Hoover wasn't out of 5-3. Aper came out. This was going to push, and thankfully, Sorokin, he was able to sink early in the third period, and then midway through the third period, the Islanders kind of regrouped, got things going again, and then they close it out with a little more than 5.5 minutes left with the goal by Matt Martin. But it is disconcerting to see the 5-0 lead disappear and become 5-3. And yeah, okay, Vancouver changed goalies. They took Yaroslav Halak out, even though Halak wasn't really at fault for all of these goals. But you can't take your foot off the gas. Look, no team in the NHL plays and dominates for 60 minutes. Even if you're playing the Canadiens or the Coyotes or one of the teams that is really struggling, there are ebbs and flows in every game. And I'm not saying that the Islanders have to go out and play a perfect 60 minutes where they're in control of the game from opening whistle to the final, siren going off at the end of the game. That's unrealistic. But you can't have a 5-0 lead and let up enough that the other team makes a game out of it. The old expression is that 3-goal lead is the most dangerous lead in the NHL. And, that's kind of a cliche and it's kind of BS. But realistically, 5-goal leads, okay, you give up a goal. Maybe you can't let it to 5-3 where the outcome of the game is suddenly in doubt again. And the Islanders did that, and that is a big area of concern, to say the least, under the circumstances. You got it better than that. The Islanders not And that is, again, a concern. The other thing is they just gave up a few too many shots, especially again after the early part in control. And when you look at the shot chart, a lot of those shots from the areas between the two, drawing that triangle down to this. And the Islanders, you know what? Out of their five or six goals came from those areas. So they did more than enough on offense to take those opportunities. Defensively, they gave up. And, you know, two of the three goals came more or less from that area. One came from the point. But Ilya Sorokin got the job done. And he made 30s to earn the victory. That's a .919 save percentage. My concern is once you got that big 5-0 lead, you can't allow 37 shots on goal. It was just a little too nonchalant at times, and that was a problem. But other than that, you got more also defensemen. And the Islanders, we've talked about the lack of goals and lack of points, everything from their defense were all 5-6 defensemen who dressed for this game. And one who did 19 minutes and 45 seconds of ice time. He was a +2, did a good job overall. 5 of the 6 getting one assist and you had Pelk Mayfield overall. And again, Scotty Mayfield continues to be productive. And every line out there on the ice had at least one goal scorer. The balance was there after you shake up the lines. Like what happened, it really worked out there today. So congratulations to the Islanders. But here's the key. Here's the key. This is all well and good. You get the 2 points. You have the very fast start. You play inspired hockey, especially in the first 16 or 17 minutes of this game. Build on it. Build on it. Friday night, the Islanders will return to action. They're at the stage of the season right now where this Islanders cannot afford win one, lose one, win one, lose one, play a good game, or in the long go out. They did last night, one-time thing, the start of a revival hockey team, and hopefully we'll see it. Right, not easy to make. There's high flyers. Edmonton, fine view of that game on tomorrow's show. We've got more to talk about today, though. At our Islanders' birthday of the day, we'll go back around 10, 12 years for that one. A forward who was productive for the Islanders for several seasons. All that and more still to come on this episode of the Locked On Islanders podcast. Today's episode is brought to to you by Rock Auto. With the ever numbers of makes and models, it's now impossible for your local chain store and auto parts store to stock all the parts you need. So why endure often pointless or seemingly intimidating questioning and wait while the person behind the counter orders the parts on their computer, choosing only the brand their warehouse happens to carry? You have computers with access to rockauto.com at home and in your pocket. You could save time and money when using Rock Auto. So why choose to spend 30, 50, or even 100% more from the same parts from a chain store or car dealership? Rock Auto is a family business. They've been serving do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years, and Rock Auto's prices are reliably low for every customer. They have everything you could need, from brake parts, tail lamps, motor oil, even a new carpet. So go explore their easy-to-use website to find the solution to your auto parts needs. Go to rockauto.com right now and see all the parts available for your car or truck. Right, Locked On in there. How did you hear about us box, so they know we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. rockauto.com. Time now for our Islanders birthday of the day. And again, we're a couple of days late now because it was Tuesday. That was the 38th birthday for former Islanders winger Sean Bergenheim, the native of Helsinki, Finland, first-round pick of the Islanders back in 2002, the 22nd overall pick. And he made his end in 2003, 2004, but it took him a couple more years to become a full-time NHLer. And by 2007, 2008, he was in the lineup every game. And, you know, Bergenheim was sort of a solid third line wing. He would play solid defensively, pitch in your 15 goals or so. Wasn't afraid to be physical when he needed to, but, you know, had some speed and was able to contribute offensively. Stayed with the Islanders through the 2009-2010 season, then played for Tampa Bay and then Florida before heading back to Switzerland and Sweden, where he finished his NHL career after the 2017-2018 season. In the NHL, 506 games played, 96 goals, 180 points, and 379 penalty minutes. Add 26 playoff games, although none of them were with the Islanders, 12 goals and 17 points in those. And he represented Finland 3 times, by the way, in the World Junior Championships. We're going to go back and look at Sean Bergenheim's best offensive performance with the Islanders. March 7th, 2009, 15,524 fans on hand at the Nassau Coliseum as the New Jersey Devils visited the New York Islanders. Kevin Weeks, the goalie for the Devils, Joey McDonald in the nets for the Isles. And it was the Islanders getting on the board first. Radek Martinek, his third from Dean McCammon and Jeff Tambellini, just a minute 42 into the game, 1-0 Isles. Then the Islanders get a power play when John Madden is called for high sticking and Kyle Oposo makes them pay. His 13th from Josh Bailey and Franz Nielsen at 10:59. Islanders up 2-0. And 3 minutes, 6 seconds later, Jeff Tambellini, his fourth from Mark Streit and Joe Callahan. After 20 minutes, Isles up comfortably 3-0. But the Devils do score early in the second to get back into it. Just 29 seconds in, as a matter of fact, Brian Giunta, his 15th, Colin White and Mike Motto with the assists. And it's a 3-1 hockey game. But our Islanders' birthday of the day answers quickly. A minute and 11 seconds later, Sean Bergenheim, his 12th, from Mike Iggulden and Jack Hillen at 1:40. 4-1 Isles. Jamie Langenbrunner makes it 4-2 at the 4:01 mark. Assist to Bryce Salvador and Zach Parise. But the Islanders' power play comes through again with Langenbrunner off for tripping. Blake Como tallies on the power play, his 6th. Bailey and Andy Hilbert with the assist at 13 minutes even, and it's a 5-2 Islanders lead. Late in the period, Sean Bergenheim, our Islanders' birthday of the day, his second of the game, 13th of the year. Mike Eagleton with the only assist at 17:20, and the Islanders had a 6-2 lead. Patrick Elias got the Devils to within 6-3, and then the Devils pull their goalie, and Sean Bergenheim, with 1 second left on the clock, an empty net, shorthanded goal. Jack Hillen with the assist. For Bergenheim, his only career NHL hat trick. Islanders beat the Devils 7-3 in this one. And Martin Brodeur giving up 6 goals of the 7 in this one. Kevin Weeks gave up just the 1 goal. But the Islanders beat Brodeur. For Joey McDonald, 35 saves. Islanders outshot 38-28. But for Sean Bergenheim, our Islanders' birthday of the day, 3 goals. He also led the team with 6 shots on goal. He was a +3, had the game winner, 2 even strength, 1 shorthanded. And again, his only NHL hat trick. So happy belated 38th birthday to Sean Bergenheim. He is our Islanders' birthday of the day. That is going to do it for this episode of the Locked On Islanders podcast. We will be back tomorrow for the full preview of the Islanders' 2 games over the weekend, including Friday night's game against Edmonton. And we'll have the latest on all your Islanders news as we prepare for that. Have a great day, everybody, and obviously stay safe. Now, thanks again for making Locked On Islanders your first listen. Now make your second listen Locked On Bets. It's your one-stop shop for all your gambling needs. Locked On Bets is hosted by your boy Q with expert insight and analysis by Lee Sterling. It's free and available on all platforms. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe. And, of course, let's go Islanders.